We're here today with Rachel Drury, the founder of Daily Harvest. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, thanks so much for having me.
To kick it off, could you tell us what is Daily Harvest and what inspired you to build this company?
Yes, so Daily Harvest is on a mission to take care of food so that food can take care of all of us. And we do that by creating all the food that you wish you had time to eat, stuff you see on Instagram, the stuff that you might see on a blog, in a format that makes it really accessible and realistic for people who are really, really busy. I was inspired to start Daily Harvest by my own life. So I was working at Gilt Group, and I like to say I was hangry, because I was. It was too many days of realizing that it was like 3 o'clock and I didn't have time to eat lunch. And I would finally get to the kitchen and the options were like a bar or trail mix. And it was no way to nourish myself. So I started meal prepping, putting stuff together on Sunday for my entire week. And I realized that this was really the solution for me. But then my Sunday was gone. And I was like, well, this isn't ideal. There's gotta be somebody doing this out there. And I started searching and I was like, all right, meal kit is like a lot. It takes 45 minutes, it's a big commitment, it's perishable, this isn't gonna work for me. So I decided to start Daily Harvest and create something different.
And you mentioned briefly about your time at Gilt, and you've had such an incredible career. Like, you did marketing and branding at Four Seasons, you got your MBA at Columbia, then you were at Gilt. How have those different experiences kind of shaped your business acumen and leadership style today?
Yeah, so starting out at Four Seasons, the reason I wanted to work there is because their brand is really about customer centricity, and that was something that I was really intrigued by. If you've ever been to Four Seasons or read about Four Seasons, they know your name. They're like anticipating your needs, and that to me is true customer centricity. So that's something that I've taken throughout my whole career. And then I went to Amex, which after business school, which was really about steering a big ship. Right? It's a huge company and I was just a little piece of it, but in order to get anything done, you really had to learn to negotiate and manage up, manage down, and I think that's informed my career quite significantly. And then, Gilt is where I cut my teeth in the entrepreneurial world. So being really scrappy, getting things done, there's never an excuse, having full accountability. It's an incredible experience for an aspiring entrepreneur to be able to make mistakes and learn in an entrepreneurial environment.
Like you said, people are so busy these days. Yeah. It's so hard to prioritize wellness and nutrition. How do you see Daily Harvest changing the lives of women?
Yeah, so what happens when we're really busy is we trade care for convenience, and we go to those quick fixes. So, what I really aspire to and what it means to take care of food so that food can take care of you is to really have those nourishing, real foods, to make our lives better, to make our our brain stronger, our bodies stronger, and overall more nourished in a way that fits in with our lifestyles.
Could you talk a little bit more about how you see technology transforming the path for companies like Daily Harvest, and maybe even how data plays into that process?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've actually built both a two-way conversation with our customers on the front end, where we use data, we talk to our customers, we have all these different channels that we've created this really robust relationship and built trust with our customers so that they tell us what they want. We don't have to wait, until 6 months after to have that like kernel aha. Our customers tell us. They say, I'm really interested in adaptogens right now. So we're like, great, we'll give you more adaptogens. And we've actually built a supply chain on the other side of it that allows us to respond in 8 weeks. And then we put it out there into the world. And this is something that you can really only do with technology, because we're able to understand in real time how our customers are feeling. And if our customers say, hey, you got the adaptogen part right, you got you got all the amazing fruits and vegetables right, but it's not quite sweet enough, or it's a little too sweet. The way that we've built our business, because we're direct to consumer, because of the way we built the supply chain, we're able to turn something around and continuously iterate on it until it's perfect for our community and for our devotees.
Why is the future frozen?
future is frozen for a lot of reasons. But some of the highlights are frozen food is actually higher in nutrient content than a lot of stuff that you buy in a grocery store. So a blueberry that you might buy in the grocery store is picked green. So it's picked before it reaches its nutritional peak. All the things that you think you're getting in your blueberry probably haven't developed yet.
No way.
Yeah, and then it goes on this long, like maybe 6-week journey from wherever it was picked to the grocery store. Then it sits in the grocery store. By the time you get it, the nutrients have seriously degraded. So in contrast, everything that's frozen is picked at its nutritional peak. And all of that nourishing goodness is actually maintained by the freezing process. The other thing that I love about frozen is that there's 47% of fruits and vegetables that aren't frozen actually end up in garbage. And you think about food waste and you think about the problem that we have with that in our country. With frozen, there's no food waste. So there's a lot that frozen can do.
And why was it important for you to have so many women on your cap table?
Yeah, so for me, 80% of purchasing decisions in a household are made by women, right? There's a reason why, internally at Daily Harvest, why we have so many women here. And I felt like, in order to really live that through, in order to build something that women are deciding on, the cap table, the board needed to match.
Amazing. So what is one piece of actionable advice you'd have for young women aspiring to be female tech founders?
Yeah, so I would say be curious. Whenever there is a decision made, whenever there is something that you don't feel like you have a full handle on, ask the question. Grab somebody after a meeting and be like, hey, would you mind walking me through how you made that decision? Would you mind explaining this to me? Because that's the way that you're going to learn how, maybe another entrepreneur or somebody with more experience or somebody with just a different experience thinks through different things, and that's how you learn and grow.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
So,
This was
thank
so
you.
great.